Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Vanillish. This Pokemon got buffed like one season ago I guess with the fast move of Astonish. Astonish is a move that definitely does quite a lot of damage now and is going to be quite not respected a lot of times. For example here we're going to get already out the opponent's Core-Star. We are going to do super effective damage, but this is not the only benefit of Vanillish all of a sudden. This Pokemon also learns the charge move of Ice Wind, one of the strongest moves in the game, by debuffing the opponent's attack guaranteed for 45 energy. And as you're going to see as well, we're going to be able to get another move off, allowing us to guarantee the liner cells. Either we have to use another shield, which we have to do now because it's a CMP type, which of course we're going to be able to win. Or, we would need to, again here, palm down, we would have been able to knock them out otherwise. As you're gonna see, we have a little bit of an energy advantage now against the opponent, and they go into a Drifblim. And we see already the bit of an issue here with the opponents not expecting how strong Vanillish is. And we were able to align ourselves, we were able to get both shields, we were able to, basically completely flip the switch advantage there. And we're going to have now the perfect alignment as in comes here the opponent's Wigglytuff. We have our Gastrodon, which I feel like it's not the correct moveset anymore. I don't think that Earth Power is going to be the correct move on this Pokemon. I feel like Water Pulse is needed. There have been a lot of scenarios here today as well where I was really hoping to have Water Pulse on this Pokemon. So I honestly feel like Earth Power days are over. I feel like it is Water Pulse days all along, and we're gonna see as well we're gonna be able to win this first battle here thanks to Vanillish knocking out one Pokemon, getting the switch alignment, getting the debuff onto the Drifblim, having a ginormous impact in this game. Next opponent, we're going to have a Clodsire here, and you will see me here stopping out straight away. What is the reason for this? I have an Ice-type Pokemon and a Ground-type Pokemon in the back. Here I knew it was a Sludge Bomb. I should have not used a shield here, but it is what it is. We maybe see still a matchup that we're going to be able to align ourselves against. And oh, look at this, we're going to have the Feraligatr. Icy Wind is going to allow us to drop the opponent's attack. Could have also went for the Signal Beam, which does neutral damage. While Signal Beam might not be the strongest move, there's also the chance of dropping both the attack and defense of the opponent, which is quite ridiculous and is rarely used. But anyway, we're going to be able to align ourselves. And we have two shields disadvantage, but alignment is key, and we will see here also the matchup now against the Clodsire, and I'm fairly certain we still have enough bulk to survive one Sludge Bomb. Stone Edge would have been a different story, but Sludge Bomb is just barely not enough to knock us out. We can get a super effective Ice Wind off again, which is going to force a shield, and all of a sudden we have a switch advantage. We only have one shield down, but we also have perfect alignment, and we see already why this was so important, how Vanillish here from all the Pokemon was able to completely flip the matchup, a hard counter matchup that I would have never won otherwise, in just basically them not knowing on how to play against it, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, anyway, as I will see here, the opponent going to have the Superior. Guess what? That would have been not a great matchup for our Pokemon in the back, and as you will see here, our Manabus are going to enjoy this matchup quite a bit, and we're going to have like perfect alignment now. Like the opponent goes into the Clodsire, I can stop out. Oh wow, I catch the move. Is it going to be a Sludge Bomb? I'm fairly certain it is going to be the case, and it's going to be a resisted hit, and there's nothing the opponent can do here no matter what we're going to do. I just want to get some guaranteed damage against the opponent with the body slam that's coming through, getting the shield here. If they're going to be able to somehow knock me out, I still going to have the charge move stored on my Manabus. Earthquake is not even going to be enough, and we can go for the full Founder now as the opponent decides to forfeit. So again, horrible lead for us. We have to swap out into our Vanillish, and we're going to get out the Walrein. And this time around, we can actually go for the Signal Beam. And Signal Beam has again the option to debuff the opponent's attack and defense. And what we will see here as well is exactly this. And I make a mistake, I think, because I decided to use a shield here. This was unnecessary. The opponent was debuffed already. And also, yeah, an Earthquake would have never knocked us out, and we would have had still the same amount of shields while keeping alignment, and now we have a disadvantage, and this disadvantage can be definitely very difficult for us later on. But as you will see here, Ice Wind is going to connect against the opponent, and they swap out into that Zapdos, which is a very smart play. But again, I got the opponent basically now a 2-shield advantage, which is really, really awkward for us. And I maybe even misplay this one even further because I decided to go into the Manabus. In hindsight, I don't think I should have done this. I think I should have just went straight away into my Gastrodon. What I thought is, I would rather have this Pokemon gone here because I know that I should be able to survive a hit, but they have Zap Cannon. I'm sorry, I did not expect Zap Cannon at all, and if they had Thunderbolt, I would have been able to still get a move off, which would have allowed me then here to fully farm them down, take the hit here for sure, and then go for some charge moves against the Stunfisk. But now it's all of a sudden going to be a little bit more difficult, as they're going to have to hope that the opponent is not going to be able to get to 2 Mud Bombs against us. We have a Body Slam stored here, we have another Body Slam coming up afterwards. I think this is my best bet to play it like this, and we have to hope that they don't have another move, but as you see already, This was a CMP tie that I'm going to be able to win here, but I'm fairly certain that if I played it a little bit differently, this could have been a game that we could have won as well. But unfortunately, they're going to be able to take the KO here, and Vanillish would have needed to survive one Thunder Shock, which it sadly doesn't, and so we're gonna lose very badly there. And to be fair, I feel like this team kinda really got screwed by what people would say quote-unquote algorithm. I just had bad matchups. Like, I'm not saying that's algorithm or anything, this stuff exists. I just say I had some bad matchups for this team, which was mainly down to maybe Mandibus not being a great leader in the current meta, instead of blaming something that nobody proved, or like it's actually proven that it doesn't exist. Maybe Mandibus just doesn't have the greatest matchup in the current meta, in the lead at least. Maybe it's a better closer. This stuff can happen. But yeah, as said before, we just didn't have really great matchups, and as we'll see as well, this is actually playable. Do we still have a chance of winning this one? We will find out shortly. We go straight for the Earth Power, hoping that the opponent would let the move go through, and they definitely give me that one. And thinking about what moves I would get hit by, I feel like Drill Run is going to be the one that is most threatening to me. Of course, the Icy one can be a bit of a tricky one because of the debuff, but damage-wise, Drill Run is the hardest hitting move that is currently on the table, and that is going to be fine because we're going to be able to go for the full farm down. I go straight for the another Earth Power here because I don't really care. I want to get the damage onto them, and they expect me, of course, to go for the bait. I don't bait here today. I can go ahead and go for another body slam against the opponent. And this will allow us to get the shield from them. But not only this, with the extra fast move damage, there should be in range for the aerial ace. I can catch a move, and it was the Icy one. I was expecting to catch a Swift here, not the Icy one. This can change some stuff. Can the opponent farm us all the way down before we can? We will find out shortly. We can still farm them down in time, and we can move on to the next opponent. Here's the awkward thing. You might think this would have been a great lead. Luckily, okay, the opponent stops out anyway, so we don't really have the discussion. But Diggersby, I feel like needs a nerf. Like, I'm sorry, like, this Pokemon is just a bit too overpowered. Like, Diggersby is ridiculous. Like, it is, like, the insane amount of bulk. You have insane amount of bulk, you have a great fast move that is stab that is both doing damage as well as generating energy quite fast. You have a charge move as a coverage move in the Fire Punch, giving you access to coverage against Pokemon like Ice type and Grass type Pokemon, which, guess what, are the super effective hits against you. And then you have Scorching Sand as your stab move that has also a chance of debuffing the opponent. I feel like this Pokemon needs a nerf. I feel like that, for example, like Quick Attack could be a move that he could kind of maybe do a little bit less damage output or something from it. Just that DSB is not as overpowered because, like, that's the thing as well. There's some Pokemon that have been very strong in the future, like basically back in the day as well already. But basically all Pokemon that got, that were really good counters against the Diggersby got nerfed recently, with all of the flying type Pokemon getting a nerf. And with this, Diggersby, in my opinion, is just a little bit too overpowered. Like, it is all currently sitting at number 5 on PvPoke. But again, like, there are other Pokemon, for example, Corsola, where you have like ghost type damage and then a little bit of power gem damage, but like any kind of normal type kind of going to hard wall you, any kind of dark type going to give you big problems. For Diggersby, like the hardest answer for them would be like a water and flying type Pokemon, but all of them got nerfed, and so it is quite a difficult, I feel like, to counter Diggersby in the current meta. I actually want to see real quick for Pelipper if this Pokemon learns a Water Gun, which might be even better than Wing Attack in the current meta. I'm not too sure. It actually does learn Water Gun. Might be an interesting one. But yeah, anyway, we're going to see the opponent with a Diggersby. We can still go for the full farm down. We had to hope that we can still go for 2 aerial aces, but they had the move stored already. It was even the Icy one, so there was nothing I can do here in this battle. Next opponent, let's see how this is going to go. We're going to have here the Sandslash, and we're going to have here also the Marowak coming in. That's actually a very favorable matchup for me. I have Icy Wind. I'm going to be able to get the opponent kind of low here, and I will get the shield from the opponent straight away, which is going to be lovely. I could let the move go through if I wanted to, but I also could use a shield here. I let the move go through. It's going to be the Bone Club. Can I still speed them? I cannot. I could force a shield here. Sure, force a shield. I'm going to force another shield. I think that's going to be the best bet that I can do here. Just forcing another shield against the opponent. I think it's going to be the greatest thing I can do. As we will see here, we're going to get the debuff onto them, and we can actually farm them down. We're actually going to be able to, win this matchup, and they're going to swap out into the Azumarill. Looking at our team, we have actually a very solid engines here, to be fair, against the Germnaa. Vanillish is okay for it. We have super effective, not super effective, we have neutral fast move damage and Ice Wind to debuff them. But we also have Gastron, which is actually a great matchup for us, as we're going to do some very nice neutral damage and Earth Power. Well, yes, I said before that I don't really like Earth Power on this Pokemon, and I would have rather had the Water type coverage. I still think that Earth Power is, of course, going to be great here for this specific matchup. I'm going to catch the move, knowing that the opponent still has a good Pokemon against our Mandibus in the back, and I kind of want to get some extra energy here real quick as well. They're going to swap out into the Sandslash, and to be fair, at this point, I just have to hope that the opponent makes most likely a bit of a mistake. And I mean, I'm just gonna try to get the opponent kind of low so I can go for the full farm down with the Gastrodon. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But Ice Punch is coming through here, and I barely miss out of this Aerial Ace. And this is actually huge. This Aerial Ace damage is all that I needed. I either would have got the shield here, which would have allowed me to go for my own shot move there as well, or would put the opponent now into a range where I would have been able to farm him down with one more fast move. And this would have allowed me then to put the opponent into range where I could have went for the full farm with the Azumarill as well. And again, here 1 HP can decide the battle. And I have to say, like, honestly, like, the teams that I encountered with this team here was not what I was usually encountering, and also very, very difficult to deal with. And yeah, Fire Punch, Diggersby actually has now, I think, a guaranteed win con against our Mandibuzz. I kind of want to calculate this battle on the side real quick, because it's going to take a long time anyway. But with the recent Fire Punch buff, this is like the one matchup where Diggersby definitely gonna gain quite a lot of ground, because he goes for so many Fire Punches. Like, it's always going to end up a little bit. And yes, Diggersby is going to win the 1 shield scenario against us. We win the 2 and we won the 0 shield scenario against the opponents. They can kind of decide on what they want to go for. But yeah, they have a guaranteed win con in the 1 shield scenario here, which is ridiculous, because like you have a ground type against a flying type Pokemon. How does it really happen? Of course, they didn't go for ground type damage. They only go for normal type damage as well as fire type damage. But yeah, it is kind of mad still. We're going to see here the Annihilate. And here's the thing. You might think, oh, Gastrodon is going to be the best answer. I actually just want to get a little bit of damage onto them first. And then going to swap out eventually here into my, yeah, what's called Vanillish. Because what I can do here is I can go for an Earth Power. Very likely just going to force the shield from the opponent, which is going to be fine. But I can get them kind of low, and I get some nice fast move pressure in here with Astonish. Astonish is going to be super effective, and we see already did quite some decent damage there. And we're going to have the Toxapex in the back. You might think this game is over. There's no way we have a chance of winning this battle. Don't count out that Vanillish. Vanillish has access to Icy Wind, and we're going to see already why this is so important. The opponent's not going to be able to knock us out yet. We can go for another Icy Wind. And this mainly stalls out the clock, but also the opponent still went for a charge move against me, means I have the advantage here of being able to go into my Gastrodon and just take a hit, go for the full farm down here nearly, get as much energy as possible, and the opponent goes down. Earth Power could get through. I actually went for the Body Slam here, which is a mistake. I should have went for the Earth Power. But it doesn't really matter because I get the shield and I get the full farm down with a Vanillish against Annihilate. Morpeko is going to be our next opponent. It's going to be very difficult because, yeah, we are kind of relying a little bit too much on Vanillish here, as the opponent doesn't want to swap out. They're going to be able to knock me out here, and I don't even get the move off, and this is like one of the big issues with Vanillish. We have, sadly, that big weakness to Morpeko. Like, yes, I could go for a shield, and then, but like, what would happen? Like, what would happen? Yeah, again, we would have rather had the Water Pulse in this scenario against the opponent's Mud Slapper, because it would have just knocked them out straight away. And in this case, I have to go kind of for the Earth Power. If they use a shield, I can swap out afterwards. They decide to let the move go through, so I can just go for the full farm down and knock them out. And it's still going to be a bit of a tough one for us to win. We have to see what they have in the back in order to have like kind of an assumption on how to play this battle. They're going to have the Corsola. And yeah, that is basically impossible. I'm going to try my best to catch a move here, which does work out. Is going to be the Power Gem. Well, let's find out. Is of course the Power Gem, and they can swap out into the Morpeko. I'm forced to use a shield here, but we have one benefit at least, because after this Aerial, they only have resisted damage against us, and that can be kind of great as we decide to go for the Dark Pulse, hoping that we're going to be able to get the knockout against the opponent. I actually realized that the opponent plays it way smarter, because they just rely on their Corsola, which is a very strong Pokemon. Like, Corsola is definitely one of the strongest Pokemon currently. You have to be prepared for this Pokemon, and as you will see here, we're going to not be able to win this battle, we're just going to forfeit there. Okay, final battle for the day. Oh, this battle was actually annoying for me as well. This happens to me quite often recently, where I'm gonna have battles where I just don't get the fast moves off, and this really hurts me then. We have the Dark Pulse coming through here against the opponent. Everything so far so good. While we have a weakness in the back, I actually still decided to swap out because we still have Mud Slap damage. We're still going to have some damage here, and they swap out into the Typhlosion. I should went maybe even early on for the Icy Wind. But the Icy Wind is now coming through, dropping the opponent's attack a bit further. And we're going to try to go for the full farm down, but we just barely miss out on it. And yeah, I can at least get the fast move through, knock out the opponent's Typhlosion, take a hit here, which is going to be the Thunder Punch, one single resisted. And you see me here lagging, not getting that Mud Slap through. And this completely impacts the game. And you might think, oh, it's just one Mud Slap. What do you think about, like, where does it really impact it? I would have had, more damage onto the opponent here right now, that to the point where they basically had no damage left, or like no health left. I would have had also more health still left, I think, or like at least like a little bit more energy left on my Gastrodon, which would have been very helpful. And we will see very, very soon why this really matters and why this one fast move that I just didn't get through, which I should have guaranteed get through there, completely gonna change the battle. And this is the thing as well, like, well, yeah, I complained about lag. Tiny bits of lag, like this, which like one turn where it lagged, completely can change the entire game. Like literally completely change the entire game there. As you will see here as well, we would have got to this Earth Power already at this point. We wouldn't have to need to get basically damage from the Dragon Breath before, and then we would have been able to survive and move here at least, and had damage onto the opponent already. We at least had a draw. I would basically say we would have guaranteed won the battle, but this is the game that we play, right? So this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.